Good morning, everyone. All right, inside day yesterday, consolidation. I guess short-term bullish. It didn't break a low yet again. We've been talking about that quite a bit over the last 2+ weeks about, you know, things look extended and they get more extended. And now we've got, the measured move, talked about that yesterday. And we'll see if today's the day that we at least get a break of a prior day's low, which really isn't a big deal. But in a trend like this, as strong as it is, it's something, some sign of weakness. But yesterday didn't take out the prior day's high in the futures anyway. I guess the Qs are. I see that they're up. I guess on NVIDIA, I don't know what else is up, but NVIDIA's up pretty big, and that's extended. So we'll see if we get a red day and some correction. And you can see we've got a little base consolidation going on there on the hourly chart. So buyers aren't throwing in the towel, that's for sure, even though things are up quite a bit. I think the charts are up, Deepak. Yeah, I see them moving up there. Maybe I was a little slow on that. Oh, those on YouTube realize that, YouTube, this is like a 20-second delay or so. Whatever I'm saying and posting, you see it like 20 seconds later. It's just the way they are. But anyway, so consolidating up there at the highs, markets aren't giving it up, or buyers aren't giving it up. And right back up to the highs there. I don't know if there was any news there. What time was that? 8 o'clock? No. So whatever reason, buyers just stepped right up there again and drove it up, but right back up to the highs. Let's take a look at spiders. That was that measured move I talked about yesterday. So again, the inside day closed below the open. Unbelievable strength. One of the things I think about 2-3 weeks ago, I think when this first started, I guess it was at least a couple of weeks ago. I went back and we reviewed those charts, went back and looked at, it was a year or two ago, the bottoming process and what had happened after prices had gone up. And, things were a bit different, but the question was whether it can continue to go up and what had happened back then. Maybe I'll post a chart of it tomorrow or something. But it was a grind into the end of the year. So as while things were extended, the strength of that move, prices just corrected in a choppy fashion, more sideways, and then just continued to go up into the end of the year. And we'll see if that's what's going to happen. Clearly, there's strength here. But it would be nice to see some type of a pullback. Things would just set up a lot better with the markets and individual stocks. But we'll take a flag pattern if that's what's going to happen. We'll just, we'll see what develops here, which is we have no choice. What we have to do is just wait at this point, since prices are a bit extended, is to wait and see what kind of a continuation pattern, whether it's a pullback, a flag, a base, whatever it's going to be. And all right, so this is up, but not taking out a prior day's high. So more of that, not more, just that type of sideways choppy consolidation for the gains that have occurred here when it goes sideways. But the thing to remember, there's lots to remember, is pattern traders versus looking at indicators that tell you what to do, is that we have to continually process the information as it's provided to us. So that's what bar by bar analysis does. Well, you get a topping tail here and things are extended as they were, likely to pull back. This is not a reason to short unless you're going to do it intraday because of that extension, because we don't short something like this as a swing trade. But we're starting to get a lot of bear call spreads because of that extension and because of the way things went up. is, where we find it, it's kind of like a search there. You got to go out and mine for it, so to speak, for the premium that's up above prices, where prices just won't go up there in a short amount of time. So we've got the same type of sideways consolidation on the hourly chart. Welcome back, McGraw. I hope you're doing well, better. Dan told me that you were a little under the weather. All right, Qs. Right. So without the 24-hour chart, it looks a little bit more like it could break, but it held the damn low of the day. And where are we? 399. Just kind of inside there. 400 whole number. Look at put call ratios and see if there's open interest there. So what we always do is look to accumulate information that provides us a bias and at times a trade. So extended whole number. You look at open interest. I mentioned yesterday in SPX at 4,700. Big open interest there. So while that supports a belief or bias that prices will stall, it's not necessarily a trade. It could be a call spread, but we're not going to short this other than intraday if that actually does set up where it's then trending down. What I like to do anyway is to see on the 5-minute that prices are under all the moving averages, and the shorter ones their slope to the downside. Even though this is in an uptrend, intraday we can short that at with the setup on a smaller time frame. This was down further, but another inside day. And this is more of what I would be looking for intraday shorts, where the daily is extended. We're looking for it to turn lower, where you start getting a downtrend here. And so a higher probability that prices correct a bit. The hourly rolls over, and that's why the 200 here. If I had the 20 on here, you would see it's about in the same spot, but that it's really a 240 period moving average, but the 200 is close enough to know what's going on the hourly chart. So this is flat to starting to turn down. I know what's happening on the hourly chart, and the 60 is what's happening on the 15-minute, and of course the 20 closer to what's happening on the 5. And if we're all pointing down, that lends itself to high probability shorting opportunities intraday, even though this is in an uptrend. And another inside day. Well, so far today, but hourly consolidation. And then kind of a head and shoulders top there as I'm looking at this and seeing what's going on. You can see it. Well, now will it break here? And then again, for day trades, I get this pointing down under the moving averages. And I wouldn't do this right now. I don't. Historically, when they come off of a low with a wide range bar like that, it's pretty strong. But it's starting to jiggle around. So I'll just let it break, and we've got room down to the next level there. So that's something I'll take in today for a idea for at least intraday trades. Let's clean that up. And again, the strength of the move, looking for it to break a prior day's low, igniting wide range bar. I mean, that is super bullish to have a base for a year and a wide range igniting bar. So ideally, this does pull back, get into a position here, and see how far this thing can go. 330 big NVIDIA strike. Yeah, that's what I typed to Dan when I saw it up. Well, he'll cover that. But, what did Dan post up there? Well, give it to that's a lot of information Dan posted there, but so I can't post it all on YouTube, but some of it for those that are interested. Your dog wants to show him or her the D-dog chart. All right. She hears little noises around the house and right away ready to go investigate and try and scare people with her big bark. She's very far from a Cujo. Deb, you're up early. Good to see you here early in the morning. Big bark, no bite, but you sound scary. All righty. Let's see what else here. We covered equities. Yeah, silver. You know, I like the way gold is shaping up here. And silver has been lagging a bit, but look at gold, it's up against the top of this range here. So ideally, this will go sideways a bit up here. And see this, what it's doing on the hourly chart right here. If I was long this, which I'm not, with the daily up in this area and you get a wide range bar breakout at this, and even look at the little downside shake out there, that could suck you in, meaning, this pattern, not taking notice of what's to the left, and maybe you could get through it a little bit. But when I see a wide range bar coming out of a base and an hourly chart looking like that, most of the time that is going to suck in longs. And even if this hour was, and it's 47 minutes to go, and it was to close with an inside bar and it breaks the low, it tends to be a breakout bar failure in this scenario. So by only if breakout, if you're talking about IWM, ideally it's going to pull back. That it is a little extended, right, because of the size of the move. But look at how all the moving averages are together. That's why we call them a visual aid. So even though if you're not looking at this, you see the daily chart sideways. As you're scanning through things or just flipping through daily charts and you see the moving averages align this way, you just know that the move is just getting started. 200, 50, 20. So buying pullbacks, even a continuation pattern, meaning it might dip down and get a bottoming tail bar, as long as we give it enough wiggle room. And so I'd give it a lot of wiggle room and share size it way down here to start, because there should be plenty of opportunities to add to this, just based on that weekly chart and that breakout. I read that there's so much money needing to go into the market in large pension funds due to, Deb, over the years, I've heard that a lot. There's so much money on the sidelines. I've never, you rarely ever hear that there's little money left on the sidelines, because money's always being created, especially in this situation where there's, this overflow of liquidity. And one of the things that I've heard in the past, I haven't heard recently, and I guess I could go search it, but what you'll hear talked about at times is how much is out on margin. So I forget what it was called, but there's a measurement of how much is, margin is being used. But anyway, this market, let's just go back and look at this for a second, because this was quite something, I thought. This is the monthly chart. For the monthly to be up as much as it was and get the size of a red bar like that, and to flip it around the next month, that's really something. What's that? Do you start? You could start with so on YouTube, Stavros, I'm saying that right. A quarter lot is fine, and you get to make up the rules, for your own trading. The thing is, a quarter lot, a third lot, Thing is, you want to give it, share size it way down here. Right? So let me see, do I have here? This is your guideline to start out with, at least the basics for thoughts about share sizing. Yes, but could you review? I did look at SPX inside day. You know, everything is pretty much the same no matter where we look. You know, we've had this measured type of a move. Prices are a little extended away from the 20 MA and from price support, and some type of consolidation makes a whole lot of sense to have that as a bias. Right? And spiders, you know, I've draw this out. Something that we review in the weekend letter, the advisor, what we call the advisory letter, which is swing trades and option trades, more directionally, some credit spreads. That we review the broader markets on the weekend and market internals and go into a little deeper analysis. And so this is something that was covered to just show what a measured move is and explain it. So momentum is stalled, but still waiting to break a prior day's low to some corrective process, which is likely. I'll just show quickly. Sentiment is up here. It's going to tag. I mean, if the market stays up today, or the market doesn't have to stay up. You know, option traders could be buying calls even in a down market, and that would show some complacency. But, you know, this is a something I've used for, I don't know, more than 2 decades as a measurement for sentiment being extreme. And, you know, getting into these upper bands up above 0.80, it's about as extreme as it gets. So things just tend to slow down. It doesn't mean they have to collapse. And, you know, breadth is actually a bit anemic, but that's been the case this whole year where, you know, we've had, you know, those big cap stocks, you know, pulling the market. So, but it's up here above 100, and this is at an extreme. So you got to be careful with longs. Crude oil correcting a bit. Maybe you're going to get a little sell set up there. The weekly's still in an uptrend. Like everything else, things are just whipping back and forth. And it was like that all day yesterday. Pretty much just whipped back and forth. Bitcoin, pushing up above that high a little bit there. And so it created this little base at the 20 and 70,000. That's a big number. Someone mentioned in the room that there's, I guess, speculation that this could be at 100,000 by the end of the year. I guess time will tell. There's nothing to stop it at this point, but transports. That's a break of prior day's low. It's up at resistance. So we look at different eyes, right, to points of view, market internals, measured moves, looking to the left, and so on. And so everything says be a little cautious here on the long side, but there's still plenty of bottoming patterns out there, and those have been working out for the most part. So, the dollar is chopping around here. So, airlines, one of the bottoming patterns, but a little extended. So this is lines. I seem to have 3 red going up on IYT. Well, I guess, it opens and closes below. It closed below the open. The strange part is, which usually isn't the case, that because there are more stocks in IYT than the transports, is that you got this wild move because of car. And in IYT, you've got those extra stocks that kind of balanced this. So this has really messed up the chart with this giant bar. All right, that's it for me. See you, Dan.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, amazing strength. You can say that again. All right, but yeah, I think Debbie has liquidity can keep plowing it in and prices will keep going up. Yeah, Bitcoin, all-time highs, gapping up here. All right, all our opens are fine. We put on a couple call spreads yesterday. Uh, Tesla, Amazon retracing a little bit, but our strikes are fine. We've got the beneficiary of the gap up here in GE. And I actually saw it printing on CNBC at 122 this morning. Um, my brain was, do I sell some or wait and do a covered call? Because we gave it yesterday as a core long. I mean, look at this. It's an inverse head and shoulders on the monthly. I had a target of 160. So do you take your $12 gain overnight or sell calls and go for a bigger gain? That's the dilemma. But it's, unfortunately retraced a bunch off that gap, but we'll keep an eye on it. And then I'll be looking to leg into covered calls on it. Oliver asking about Alpha Golf. Alpha Golf. It looks good. I don't like buying things up bottom of the range to the top, but it's a bullish 15, bullish weekly. You just gotta adjust your stop, and depends on what time frame you're trading. Actually, talking about time frame, tomorrow MT Live is a multiple time frame, and folks in the green room have heard me saying, I'm not doing new longs with this extended market unless it's a quality new setup.
Yeah, something happened there. No Daniel.
Yeah, oh, sorry about that. Something came up. All right, so this looks fantastic as a new trade. To give you another example of a new trade setup, this has light volume, but it's over 100, so I'm fine with it. But another example of a fantastic new setup, UMPQ. Look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4. Bright, bullish, daily, weekly, monthly. So I have no problem buying that. All right, let's look at gappers here and earnings. AMD, it's still bullish as can be, 15-minute chart. But the farther you get from the 20 MA, and do you remember last week we talked about wide range bars and advanced candlestick analysis? Look at that volume. That's the biggest, you got to go back in time, but this might be the biggest wide range bar in the stock's life. I don't know. You got to go back and look, but it's big. It's still bullish, but I'll watch it day by day. And just like NVIDIA, they will come in eventually. This is still bullish as can be. But now you're gapping up to 324 off to all-time highs. My brain is just wired to fade it. Not on the opening print, but I started off with 30-minute low, and maybe we turned it into 5-minute low, 10-minute low. I don't know, but I needed a starting point. REAL, nice gap breakout here. It's a big gap way up 16, but it's a bottoming pattern. Nice W here on the weekly, and target, I don't know, 18 to 20. So that's worth watching. a newer, also another gap and crap candidate. You're gapping up $30. $30 you're gapping up, which is 30% after a vertical move into earnings. I totally have a bearish bias on that gap. I don't even care if it sets up as a bullish 5-minute chart. I ain't touching that. I'm looking for a breakout failure I'm looking for an intraday entry to short it. Yeah, and marijuana has been in favor the last 2 days, so sure. Janet, when we slow down, let's do we can maybe scan the whole marijuana stock. All right, Emmanuel, remember you got to give me tier 1 trades here in the morning because of time. You really want me to buy something gapping up $23? It's a bullish gap, but there's no setup. 5N 160. Now that one's better. It's gapping to resistance, but if it can take out a 30-minute high, it's an idea. Trex. What do you want me to do with this, Manuel? It's another Climo, and I can't tell where it's gapping. So Trip 3171. I don't know what you meant. 4035. It's gapping here to support. There's nothing to do there, Emmanuel. PayPal, it's getting whacked. I'll keep an eye on it for maybe 30-minute high put spread just because it's a Wall Street love. This one, Thomas, there's no pattern right now. It's gapping down a little bit, but it could be a beautiful 1, 2, 3 for tomorrow. Neil Jeff Long. It's a mess. There's no pattern here. It's a mess. ATI. It's opening flat, Thomas. What? All right. I'm 5M. Yeah, I just talked about it. Yeah, so folks, on time here, I mean, we talked about it the other day. If you could maybe just focus on tier 1 questions, because otherwise I can't get through this list. All right, so where did I leave off? Car, I'll just keep an eye on it. The reason I wanted to look at car is because Hertz is I think being listed today on the NAS. Sanmina, so these are all earnings and gap stocks or story stocks that I pulled from the journal or whatever. All right, so Sanmina is getting whacked, but it's in the semi space, and we'll come back to it in 30 minutes. AMC had earnings, yeah. No, Greg, you mean a bull trap, because the bulls are trapped in that big old breakout bar. Thomas MJ. We bought a half lot of MJ yesterday for our ETF trader, but if we get a 1, 2, 3, then that would be a great look at NVIDIA here, middle window already falling. OTEX, the breakout was 2 days ago. Hood was in the news, Greg, today. They had a hacker nabbed 5 million of their customers' data. And so that's what I mean, story stocks. Here's another story stock, UAL. The whole industry, the news is the US is opening up international travel. Here, let's focus on the video, folks. I want tier 1 trades at the open. Now, I'm not going to rush into this, but let me see what the juice bar has. So I was talking about the 350 I'm sorry, 335, 350 is $3 plus right now. Greg, what do you think? Is it too aggressive right now at 931?
Do half.
Okay.